Through its varied programme of events, the London Business Forum consistently inspires and informs. Today is no exception. We have one of the best-known entrepreneurs of our era. He has been listed as one of the 100 most influential people in the world and the most inspirational business leader over the last 5 decades. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Sir Richard Branson.
Hi, everybody.
Your peers, other business leaders, recognized you as the most inspirational business leader of the last 50 years, but you don't consider yourself a businessman.
Yeah, I think the word businessman is slightly misleading. I'm sure there's a lot of young entrepreneurs in this room, and what they are is they're creators. They're creating things, ways to make people's lives better. And unless they actually create something that's going to make people's lives better, it's not going to succeed. And so they have to be much more creative than the next person. And in every aspect of what they create, whether it's surrounding themselves with wonderful people and motivating them, whether it's the product itself, whether it's the marketing, they are creators, and therefore this sort of stereotype of a business person in a suit with a tie doesn't really stack up. The most difficult time is when you start your first company. You're fighting to survive. You're learning how to deal with people. You're learning how to delegate. You're learning how to market. You're fighting to make sure that more money is coming in than going out at the end of every month. And it's really tough. And I've written Losing My Virginity, my original autobiography, showing the very, very thin dividing line between success and failure, and just managing to stay the right side of that dividing line. The exciting thing is, if you do stay the right side of that dividing line, you can do incredible things. If you go the wrong side of that dividing line, you would have learned one hell of a lot getting that far, and then you just got to brush yourself down and start again, because you would have learned too much to just give up. But having gone through that initiation of fire and hopefully survived, then starting a second company or a third company, as long as you're a good delegator, as long as you don't try to do everything yourself, as long as you find good people and get great people around you, it's relatively easy. And I now have a lot of companies, and I have a lot of not-for-profit companies, and I think I'm working harder than I've ever worked. But life is a hell of a lot easier for me than it is for a lot of these people in this room who are building their first company. So your brand is all you've got, and your own reputation is all you've got, and you have to protect these zealously. So, I mean, the Virgin brand, I never realized particularly that we had a great brand for many years. We were just doing fun things that we felt could make a difference in other people's lives, and also things that we could have a lot of fun doing. We would dive in, we would start a company, people liked it, and slowly the brand reputation built and built and built. And now I suppose the Virgin brand is one of, maybe one of almost like a unique brand in the world, in that we have gone into a lot of different businesses over the years. And
is there a danger of stretching the brand too much?
When we started doing it, like from records to airlines, from airlines to mobile phones and so on, there were so many headlines saying Branson's balloon's going to burst now, one too many stretches. But if we hadn't stretched the brand, iTunes ended up killing our music stores, and that was one of the first businesses we're in. So by reinventing ourselves all the time, 50 years on, the Virgin brand is still going strong. In every new field we go into, although we've got a strong brand, we are the challenger brand in that field. So In space travel, we're a small company up against NASA, which is a big company. And, in mobile phones, we're a small company up against big companies and so on. And it's much more fun, I think, being the David rather than being the Goliath. And we've had tons of fun over the years, pulling the coattails of the big Goliaths. And sometimes they've bitten back, and it's been painful. Sometimes they've bitten back, and we've survived it. But I think the brand is the stronger for being able to be flexible, being able to move quickly. British Airways once were sponsoring the London Wheel, and I had a telephone call at 5 a.m. saying that they had technical problems getting the wheel up, the one that's just over the Thames here. And we had an airship company, so scrambled the airship, and by 9 o'clock that morning it flew over the wheel, and right across the side of the airship it just had the words, BA can't get it up. And we got the headlines rather than BA that day. So humor is another thing that's, I think, important. I have great difficulty saying no. I mean, I find that in life is just that much more fulfilling to say yes to most things. So if somebody says to me, I think I can build a boat that'll be the fastest boat across the Atlantic, I will definitely want to be on that boat. If somebody says to me, I think I can build a balloon that might be able to cross the Atlantic, I'll definitely want to be on that balloon and not watch somebody else do it. I mean, I think I've been pulled out of the sea 6 times by helicopters, so I've got a Guinness World Record for that. And that's why we ended up sponsoring the London Ambulance helicopter to say thank you very much. And the main thing is, if you don't try things, you're neither going to succeed or neither are you going to fail. So just keep trying things, keep trying things, keep trying things. It's a great time, I think, to be an entrepreneur, to start a business today. We've started something in Britain called Virgin Startup Loans. We work with people who are starting up their businesses, and we've got maybe 800 Virgin Startup Loan people, really fun, exciting ideas. Whether those initial businesses those people will start will be where they'll end up in 20, 30 years' time, who's to know? But if they're a true entrepreneur, I expect they'll do other things as well.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, would you please put your hands together to thank Richard for a fascinating insight.